Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. And I'm Shelly. I do working on building a flower farm from scratch. So that's where most of my time goes. And when we talk about this trial, I have felt triggered and I feel angry. And with that, I've been a little reluctant to deal with that anger. Um, so I read about 11 key skills, tools to deal with anger in a healthy way. And I realized that would be too much. But I know if I'm dealing with anger, then many people are. Uh, I believe I've identified the point that makes me the most angry, and it translates to everything in my world. It always has, and it's a blatant disregard for life. And for me, I even extend that to life of animals. Sitting back in my chair today to try to keep myself under control. And if these things trigger you, here's a warning. And I just don't watch the video because it could turn into a rant. I understand that there's no possibility of expecting people in our world to feel the same way or to treat life the way that I would like it to be treated. I'm only in control of the choices I make to value life. So yesterday, and I'm not going to go over all the text, it's lengthy, we could be here for hours. But yesterday, some of the text, or several of the text, really reminds me of a fifth grader's type of, maybe sixth, where adolescence is beginning and chemistry and hormones are changing. And at that time, it's pretty normal that our brains are not quite developed, or our society has not given us or offered some tools, and we haven't learned how to manage those kinds of impulses. And for me, it's sad to see people that get stuck in this stage or fuel this stage or be so delighted in this stage that they've failed to gain some maturity. And I know that sounds very judgmental. And I try to remain objective. But if you're dealing with anger as well, then identifying it is your first key, and you may be well beyond that. But many people have difficulties with just identifying it and finding out, like, what is causing this anger. So I'm just going to talk about two things, what I just mentioned: identifying it, processing your emotions, and understanding the trigger and what caused that, and then what it means. And the second thing I think that, is quite healthy is to take that energy that you have from the anger, and it will possibly give you courage to stand up for what you believe. But that's a good thing. Stand up and use your voice to express that. Like for me, the value of life is, I believe it's sacred, and I feel like, well, let's just go back to the 10 Commandments. If you're a believer, it says, "Thou shalt not kill," in old King James language that was translated from other languages. And we won't get into that. I can go down a rabbit trail. So, with my speech um, attempts to kind of overcome some of these difficulties, then I hope to catch that. And if you want to talk about it sometime, let me know in the comments. But I take that to heart. I think that is a top priority in our life. Um, so for me, that's a non-negotiable. Um, and I think I would be very assertive with these people, and they wouldn't like me immediately, and I would be shunned, which is absolutely a protective nature, a protective. Um, there we go with my speech. Thank you for your grace and your kindness, but it is protection to keep me away from a cult type of environment. And then, in the second vein of that, I would also attempt to maybe engage with their thinking, give them the time to talk, even if you disagree with everything. If you think about a glass, coffee. So if you think about that, and other people or us, we're so full of ourselves and our beliefs, and we're dug in and stubborn, then you realize that their emotions are full. There's nowhere, if I try to pour something into this glass, it would run out. So any thoughts that I may want to share with them will not be received. Um, they've got so much that they are keeping full. And one way to reach these people, and it's probably, I mean, it's very difficult, especially with some that are involved in cult behavior, is to allow them the opportunity to share. Just being quiet, listening, and in your head, I'm sure it's like, I don't believe anything that you're saying, it's lies, but just allow the other person to talk. And when that happens, it lowers the level of liquid and emotions that is in their glass. And once that process begins to be lowered, if you invest some time and allow them to talk about how they feel and life in general, then you may even get to a point that there's very little liquid in their glass of overflowing with emotions. Then that will allow you the opportunity, because they would be in a position of accepting, considering. Doesn't mean they're going to believe a way that you feel strongly about, but it does open up a door for them to consider new ideas. And it takes some time and investment. And, hopefully we typically kind of get that from family as we grow up. And then we, uh, as we develop friends, and that provides us the opportunity to share and to open up. It can occur with people that we haven't developed those bonds with. So I'm a strong advocate of mental health. Um, I'm sorry, mental health, like rehabilitation, therapy, um, having some of those things like actually required Because even though they're so resistant and dug in like a mule into their own thoughts, with time and listening, and maybe you throw out a newer, healthier idea, and they swat it down quickly and go, no, no, But the important point is it's out there. It's something that they may gravitate to. They may mull it over in their mind. But with this cult, I believe my own impression is that they are so absorbed with chasing uh, this sexual chemistry that entertaining a healthy thought or entertaining maturity and responsibility and ways that you can help others and care for others in a genuine fashion would probably not be accepted unless they were incarcerated and they have no other opportunity to really um, latch on to some real crazy out there disgusting um, I have some other words, but I'm not going to share that today, but it it does pull in the opportunity for them to reevaluate. It doesn't seem like we're having much of that, but we will see, and time will tell with this Lori Vallow-Daybell. I'm calling it the trial of the century because um, it gives us the opportunity as the public to grow and to learn and to relate to, is this triggering? Am I upset? What can I do about it? Um, because when we're triggered and we're angry, those are the times in our lives that um, we people, human nature, respond more aggressive and become enraged and violent and um, act in ways that we wouldn't even consider acting when we're calm. So it was helpful to me to talk through this and battle the frustrations that I experienced just in my speech. And I'm working on trying to give myself grace and um, some acceptance, I guess, on the difficulties that I have to reach the exact word that I want to use, and just like a word finding issue that I'm working through. So, thank you on this journey. I am so appreciative. Your comments are wonderful, and I even noticed that somebody made a comment that bordered on being rude, and I actually appreciate that they took the time to make the comment because that's what they were thinking and that's where they are, and it's a learning experience. Whether they read any of our replies after, um, I'm going to ask you to work on doing what I'm doing, is not to take it personally, and work on not allowing it to offend me, so that I can stay grounded and grow in maturity. Okay, I love you guys. You are the best. Thanks for taking the time to watch. And if you have any questions, I'm definitely not the person to have the answers, but I can be the person that would explore different ways of thinking. It's part of my personality, and I find that those things are often helpful when we look at how can we consider this and get to a point of, like I had talked about before, being curious and asking questions and realizing we definitely don't know. We don't know everything, but with this trial, we are learning quite a lot. But typically, we won't know the inside scoop with each other's lives. And especially when someone just posts a comment at random, I've noticed that we have some followers that are from Canada. We have some from the United Kingdom and a couple from Australia or that live there, and I think there was one from South America near Johannesburg, I believe. And it's surprising to me that other people may want to um, watch a video and maybe watch me struggle through my speech issues and talk in a way that's just absolutely non scripted. Um, so, let me know where you're from. I am in Northeast Texas, and I'll tell you more about that another time. Okay, have a good one.